What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. In this video I'm going to be giving guys my first impressions and the stat speculation for the Thracia units we're getting this week. So I'm actually pretty happy that they are confident enough in Thracia to have a banner which does not have a Reinhardt, Ishtar or like Leaf alt, and does not have like a Fire Emblem OC like they had last time when Peony came out. Even though I felt like Marita was more than enough to carry that banner, but yeah, definitely something I did not expect. I was definitely expecting like a Shadows of Valentia banner. Many people were too, so this was a pretty nice surprise. I'm actually pretty happy that Ronan is in the game. So the first thing that we have is Asbel. So he is basically a green infantry mage, and his weapon, he's kind of trying to be like a young Merrick essentially, but in my opinion young Merrick is still better because he's got null follow-up in his weapon. Asbel on the other hand has got Graph Caliber, which has got -1 special cooldown, which is really good. It's effective on flying units, and if he initiates combat or if he's within 2 spaces of an ally, he gets +5 to all of his stats and he neutralizes foes' bonuses during the combat. So this is a pretty nice weapon, but again I would have liked if null follow-up was built into it instead of having it as a slot B, because then he could have abused wind sweep and stuff like that. But having dull all is also really good. He just ignores any kind of buffs, which is super great, and his weapon's condition is also very easy to meet. So his weapon is solid, but it could have been better in my opinion. So he's got Fury, null follow-up, and Speed Res Oath. We didn't really have this Oath skill before, so it's here. He has got Fury 4 and Null Follow-Up. Null Follow-Up is going to be nice with his high speed, which I'm expecting to be. So I expect him to have a stat spread similar to this. I think he's going to be pretty fast, and he is going to be having 36 or 37 base attack, I think. And he's going to be having like better resistance than young Merrick, but overall pretty similar to him, I feel like. So yeah, that is going to be Asbel. And the next thing that we have on this banner is going to be Ronan. So he is a blue infantry archer, and he essentially has a better Spendthrift bow as his preferred weapon, which is Indignant Bow. So this gives him +3 resistance, and if foe initiates combat or if foe's HP is at 100% at start of combat, he gets +6 attack to himself during the combat and inflicts -6 attack to the foe during the combat, and it also neutralizes penalties to his attack stat, and then he ignores the buffs to the attack of the foe. So many effects here, but basically the Spendthrift part is in this weapon. But to activate that, you need to be in the enemy phase, which is really easy to do, and he's probably going to be an enemy phase archer, or you want to make sure that the foe is at full HP. If that meets, then he can have the Spendthrift effect, and also just nullify any penalties to his attack, which is really great. And he also has like a dull attack, so the foe's attack buffs don't really matter to him, so he can function better as a tank. So he's got Swift Stance 3 and Joint Drive attack. Of course, he will have to compete with stuff like Legendary Crom because he is a blue infantry bow, so pretty big competition there for him, honestly. But he's mostly going to be functioning in the enemy phase, I feel like. And I think he's going to be having a stat spread somewhere around this, having very high speed. He's basically going to be like a Norn. Premium Norn is what I'm expecting out of him. Like having higher resistance and similar things to Norn, just having high speed and overall workable bulk. So I think Ronan is going to be like a bulky enemy phase archer overall. Blue color could be a problem for him for tanking and stuff in general, and colorless is usually preferred, but we'll have to see what kind of stat spread he ends up having. So that's Ronan. I'm definitely looking forward to getting him. I'm definitely going to be trying to get him. And then we have got Miranda. So she is the demote unit of this banner, which is kind of expected out of her. So she's an infantry red mage, and we just got Null as well as a demote. So she's got the Serpent Tome, which I'm really happy that it's available. Red tomes don't have much variety when it comes to inheritable weapons. I hope we can get some more seasonal ones too, or just permanent ones. So it's really great to have this in the normal summoning pool. Seal attack resistance is just a meme in 2021. However, I do appreciate that they're starting to give us gap skills on these demotes, even though speed res gap isn't the greatest or not the most ideal. I think attack speed gap or defense res gap is probably a bit better, but nonetheless, decent fodder, I guess. At least they're, trying to give us new skills. Seal attack resistance was not present in the game, so I guess technically it's new too. So Miranda is battling against this 4-star green mage. I think that she might end up being like better offensively compared to Null if because like she has got less HP, so I think she's gonna be having more speed to compensate for that. But pretty similar overall to Null. Just having a better speed stat, I guess. So this is what I'm expecting out of her. I think she's gonna have 30 attack, 34 speed, high resistance, and low defense. Because she's got a Serpent Tome, it's kind of given that she's gonna have high resistance. All of these Serpent Tome mages before her also had like somewhere around that kind of resistance. So that's what I'm expecting out of her. So Miranda's gonna be taking out this green mage. We'll have to see what kind of stat pair she ends up having, because we have got quite a lot of red infantry mages in the grill and normal summoning pool, so competition is plenty. The final unit on this banner is Sara, so she is the star of this banner, and she's definitely gonna be like the definitive offensive mage. Like, she's gonna be a 5-star log mage. We don't really get too many of those. Usually all of them are demotes and stuff like that, but she is a premium staff unit with Kia staff, which is a fantastic support weapon. So that's got Wrathful Staff built into it, and at the start of combat, if there is any kind of penalty active within 4 spaces of Sara, then she can grant them +6 attack and speed, which is gonna be like a visible buff, so she'll just buff them up, which is absolutely amazing. And she can also neutralize any kind of penalty on that ally, and penalty can include panic, isolation, gravity effect, flash status, all of those things. So this is a fantastic support weapon, and if there's no ally who has got a penalty within 4 spaces, then it's pretty much going to be targeting the ally who has got the lowest HP among them. So that is really good, because many times like the nukes and stuff like that are not going to be having high HP, so they could get the +6 attack and speed and just nuke harder if they don't have a penalty on them. So this is a really good support weapon, and this is basically like a better odd recovery essentially, because it's going to be working every single turn at start of the turn, and it can also buff up the allies for that while also getting rid of their penalties. So really excellent support weapon in my opinion. She also has Return Plus, which is basically a reposition healing. So we did see Rescue Plus as a drawback healing, so this is just similar to that. And her base kit is fantastic. She's got Dazzling Staff, Attack Speed Push 4, and Joint Drive Res. She just comes out of the box ready to destroy stuff, and I think, as I said, she's going to be the definitive offensive mage, because I think that she's going to be having 40 attack stat and 37 speed with really high resistance as well. So quite impressive honestly for a healer having those kinds of offenses. And also pretty nice resistance, so she could take hits. It's just that her HP is very low. So that is going to be the banner, and we also have a Grandeur of Battle unit this time around, and it's Veld, and he got like 13 votes in Choose Your Legends. Now, I don't know if he even has any fans, because he's just such a lame villain in my opinion, and his map is tough. But he's an easy boss himself. He does have a very good theme though. I hope they put that in FEH. But overall, there were some better Grandeur Battle candidates. I feel like Raedric would have been pretty nice, Galzus or Salem. Those would have been a good option as well. His weapon could be Jormungandr, but I feel like Salem could have that too whenever he comes out. I'm thinking like he's gonna be having some kind of stone weapon, because he has its stone weapon basically, and it can just turn your units into stone for the remainder of the map. And the only way to get rid of that is by using Kia Staff, which is present on this banner on Sara. So I feel like he's definitely going to be having that kind of stone. Now the thing is that stone is like a weaker version of a colorless tome. You could see that on like Zane or Bramimond. So not going to be having the exact name, maybe something else like Veld's Tome or Manfroy's Stone. Just something including rock or stone is what I'm expecting. So you could petrify the units essentially with that stone and Thracia. So like in FEH, the way they could translate is by having like flash effect and gravity effect. Just both of them together could be pretty interesting. I'm really curious to see how they handle him. I think he's definitely going to be having a preferred weapon. I cannot really see him not having one, honestly. So any of these options could be it. But I'm highly leaning towards stone because of the presence of Kia staff on this banner. He could be an infantry red mage, of course, but infantry colorless mage does make sense with him as well. And that would be a really good way to start off 2021 by having a very unique class type in the Grail pool. And he's probably gonna have like renewal skill. I don't have much expectation out of his fodder. They have disappointed us so much that honestly, I just don't expect anything at this point. And he could have a slow bulky stat line, but depending on how his preferred tome works, he could be pretty interesting in it. I don't think he's gonna be like very strong or anything like that, because even in his own game, he's not a very tough boss to fight essentially. So not really thinking that he's gonna be super strong, but they could make it interesting, you know, just having a pretty niche effect. I liked how they implemented Kempf, honestly, and he's also a Grantor battle unit from Thracia, so Kempf was implemented really well, in my opinion, so they could do the same with Veld. I'm also really curious to see how his art is gonna turn out to be. I hope it's as good as like Garneth, essentially. He's like, nobody really cares about him, honestly, and for a good reason. Like, there's one fan art I've seen on Google Images when you search his name. That's it. All of these years, there's no fan art of him, no cipher card of him, absolutely nothing. So I'm pretty excited to see what they do with the Fate art. So that is going to be the banner. Let me know what you think about this banner in the comment section down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to thank all of my YouTube members for their constant support. And if you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as the life and death code from Asbel, even though he has got Fury 4. So that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.